Well folks, welcome to another Friday fishing forecast, and it looks like we are going to have some weather move in sometime tomorrow. I'm seeing all kinds of different things. I see a line of showers coming through at around 10 o'clock, and then I see a line of showers coming through later in the day. So just kind of keep a watchful eye on the weather and the clouds, and I think the bite should be pretty good. We've got some good tides this weekend. That front is going to be coming down, so it's going to change the barometric pressure. So I think the bite's going to be really good this weekend. Chad and I still haven't decided if we want to go offshore or not. We might poke our head out there and see. It just depends on where those showers are at. So I'm going to be looking at the radar pretty hard tomorrow morning and making a determination. If I see that those line of showers are going to be closer, then we probably will stick in the bay and fish in the bay and see what we can do. Now last week, as you saw, we struggled hard. And I talked to some people and they said that they did pretty decent, and they said that, and the only bait that they used was shrimp. That was the only bait that we did not have on the boat. So sometimes I don't even heed my own advice about getting every type of bait that you possibly can on the boat, and we didn't do it, and then I think we paid for it a little bit, but we caught fish. It was still fun. We got out in the water, and that's what it's all about. So let's go ahead and get into the Solunars and the tides for this weekend. Like I said, the tides look pretty good. They're pretty good moving tides, especially for your inshore fish. I know the water temperature's up and the fishing has been really good inshore. So let's go ahead and get into it and see what the weekend has in store for us. All right, for Saturday, we have a low tide at 8:32 a.m. at a negative 0.48. Then we have a high tide at 2:57 p.m. at a 1.11. And then we have another low tide at 7:58 p.m. at a 0.44. On Sunday, we have a low tide at 8:59 a.m. at a negative 0.31. Then we have a high tide at 3:19 at a 1.21. And then a low tide at 8:49 p.m. at a 0.31. Now, like I've discussed in the past, if I'm fishing inshore for snook, reds, and trout, I really like the negative tides. It's just me, because if you know where to go and you know where to find fish, it's almost like shooting fish in a barrel. It becomes almost stupid sometimes, because these fish are caught into certain areas, potholes, things like that. So when I'm out looking for an area to fish on a negative low tide, I'm constantly looking for other things, as in mullet, birds, bait, anything. With those three things, typically those fish are going to be around there somewhere. So when you're out, just don't pull up to a flat or backcountry area or in the rivers or anything else like that unless you see some kind of activity. It's always important to find activity. If it just be birds, if you look at some islands, you look at some shorelines, you'll see where the birds will be sitting, and you'll see where they've been pooping a lot. Well, what that does is it drops nutrients into the water, which bring the bait fish into that area, which brings the fish into that area. So if you find an area that has a lot of bird poop and a lot of birds, fish that area. I'm telling you, it works. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the Solunar periods for this weekend. On Saturday, we have a minor feeding time from 8:03 a.m. to 9:03 a.m. And then we have a major from 1:23 p.m. to 3:23 p.m. And on Sunday, we have a minor from 8:35 a.m. to 9:35 a.m. And then we have a major from 2:06 to 4:06. Now, like I said, the weather is going to be questionable in the sense of, when these storms are going to show up, if they're going to show up. It's always kind of a crapshoot when I talk about the weather, because sometimes they're saying, oh, it's going to do this, this, and this. And like last weekend, they said it was going to be really windy starting at around 10 o'clock. Well, it didn't start getting windy until after 3, almost 4 o'clock. So we spent the whole day in the bay, and it was flat as glass until very late in the day. So sometimes it's hard to, I'm just taking what the weather people are saying, and I'm trying to gather as much information from different sources, different websites, to find out if I can make an educated guess. And sometimes I'm right and sometimes I'm wrong, but anyway, I think it's going to be a good weekend. If you haven't seen already, we have introduced what we call the huggy jigs. And a lot of people have been asking me for this style jig, so I went ahead and bought the mold, and we have those available from 1/4 to 1 1/4 ounces. And so it's been a question that's been asked a lot, and if you see what the pricing is compared to other prices out on the market, you'll see that it's very fair pricing. We're offering them with really good hooks, and it's like I said, there's a lot of people that use them for sheep's head and other fish like that. So we went ahead and put them out there. They're on the website at tampabay.fishingchannel.com. So if you're looking for anything, we have the ball jigs, we have the regular jigs, we have the huggy jigs now, we have the Stewie jigs. I've got my guy Rich building them full time now, so we have plenty of inventories. So if you want to come by here, feel free. If not, you can order right online at tampabayfishingchannel.com. Again, thank you very much for all of the support. We really appreciate it. Fish more, catch more, and we'll see you on the flip side.